Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be doing this pink eyeshadow look. And so I already did my eyebrows off camera, of course, using the Wet n Wild pomade. And I already moisturized my face and primed it with my Smashbox. Now I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation on my eyelids to set for a blank canvas when I do my eyeshadow. So I'm just using the foundation to set it first, and using the Real Technique sponge I'm going to be blending that out. Getting a little patchy, but just blend that out because this foundation dries fast. Now using my Stay Don't Stray eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be going in with that. And it's pretty much, I like the color. I like the fact that it's kind of like my skin color in regards to the primer, eyeshadow primer. So it looks pretty natural. Now I'm blending that in again. And if you choose, you can choose to let that eyeshadow primer set by itself. But I'm just going to speed up the process using my Too Faced translucent powder. So I can jump into my eyeshadow. Now using my Sippin' Pretty Kylie Jenner palette, I'm going to be using this kind of regular pink, and with a little packer brush I'm going to start right away packing that color in. I'm using this process instead of slowly building it up just because I wanted to just get the color in there and then diffuse it as needed. Now I did notice that with this particular eyeshadow, I had to really dig in there and pat it. I know that some of these eyeshadows are all different. So now using this kind of more of a softer brush, I am going to use a lighter pink to start blending out those edges around that pink eyeshadow. And this is a very soft pink, so I am having to go pretty in there to really have it show on my eyelids because it's pretty light. So I'm going to be just packing that color in and blending it out. Now using more of a tapered brush, I am going to be using that to get into that brighter pink. I did end up changing my mind because there's two pinks. One's a little bit darker and one's more brighter. So I'm using the darker pink. And as you can see, this one is ridiculously pigmented. Like I was trying to mention before, pretty much all the colors are, some of the eyeshadows, some are different formulas, I can say. Some are a lot more loose and some of them are more packed. So this one's a lot more loose, which is great because then it just goes in pretty easily, and then you work on blending it out. So I'm using this on my crease, my outer crease, and I'm packing that color in and then diffusing it out. But this one's a lot more pigmented than the two previous pink colors. I'm going in a little bit more just to intensify that color in there. Now it seems about right. Now whatever is left from that second brush that I use, I'm just using that to kind of diffuse and blend everything out. Now again with that taper brush, I'm going in with an Anastasia Renaissance palette. I'm going to be going in with that kind of red color just to again intensify that pink, the outer pink, and it does add quite a nice little red but yet still pink tone to it. So really packing that in the outer V section. Now I'm going to be cutting, well, not necessarily cutting my crease, cutting my inner section just a little bit. I'm using again the Stay Don't Stray primer, eyeshadow primer, and just right inside by the tear ducts, just to add a pop of color. And using more of this packing brush, I'm going to be blending that out, also helping dry it out. This is the first time I do this kind of technique, so I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out, but we're just going to make it work. So now going back to my Kylie palette, I'm going to be using that purple and pink color. It's like a rose gold and this bright lilac color. And I'm going to be using my finger to pack that in. I feel like some of these glitters don't really need any type of moisture or spraying one of your brushes, so you can do it with your finger or with the brush, but they're just pressed, so they're pretty much ready to go. Now again, going back with that light pink color, I am going to blend it out more. I did notice that I focused way too much right by my crease, so now I'm blending it upwards just to make sure that it's nicely spread for when I add my wing eyeliner. Everything kind of looks just more together. Now using my Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner, which has become definitely my fave, I'm going to start by making a line. There's pretty much, for me, no right or wrong way of doing eyeliner. It's whatever works for you. So I start by doing my line pretty thin, pretty light, and then I just go for it, making that straight line. Sometimes overthinking it, you're going to end up messing it up. So sometimes just going straight for it, you'll make a straight line. So now I'm going to start bringing it to the center of my eye and the inner corner of my eye, making thin lines at first and then thickening it out. I don't go right inside the inner corner of my eye because I do feel like it somehow transpires to the bottom of my eyelashes and it kind of messes up, so I'm trying not to go way too in the inner corner of my eye. And now I'm just going to be adding more product to make it darker and deeper. Then once I'm content, I move on to my other eye and try my best to make them at least cousins. So now using a micellar water wipe, I'm going to be cleaning up the bottom of my eyelashes for any fallout that I may have gotten. And I also use these wipes to really carve out my eyeliner. I do feel like it does help to even them out and make them nice and snatched. Now using my L'Oreal mascara, I'm going to be applying that so that when I do apply my falsies, they are nice and secure. Now adding some of my favorite falsies, I added these that are kind of wispy, but yeah, kind of a little dramatic, just to finish the eye. I used the Duo Lash Glue, which has been working amazing. So just gotta make sure they're on right and they're not sticking out. Using my Wet n Wild Stick Foundation. I think this is in the color Sun Beige. Sun Kiss Beige. So I'm going to be using that one first. And I say first because I'm going to be mixing my foundations. I've been loving mixing foundations. So I'm using the Wet n Wild Stick Foundation along with the Estee Lauder foundation. And I feel like it leaves the perfect, pretty much, I really don't know how to even call it. It just looks good because the Estee Lauder is pretty drying, and it's super matte, which I love, but it's just a little bit too much. And then the Wet n Wild foundation is amazing, but then it does make me get oily or look oily. So mixing both of them makes me have this really nice, well covered, full coverage, but yet still semi-dewy look. So yeah, just using a brush, I'm going to be blending all of that out because it does dry pretty fast. Using the Estee Lauder foundation, it dries really fast, so we got to work fast with this. This is definitely a process. You want to make sure you get it right by your hairline so you can't see your actual real color, and then using whatever is left on the brush on your neck. So again, you have to work fast with this foundation because it will start to set in quite fast. It's already starting to look a lot better. You can see on camera, it's just really blending in nice. It's evening out my skin color and it's still looking really nice. It's a good finish to it. Once that is all set and we didn't mess up our eyeliner, we can go ahead and move on to some concealer. And the concealer that I'm using is the Wet n Wild concealer, which I've been loving. It really does not crease on me. That's one of the things I have. One of the problems I've had before is creasing. It's crazy under the eyes. But this concealer has been working. And when I do set, it doesn't leave me with dry patches under my eyes. Also guys, I forgot to mention that when I mix both of those foundations, I do notice that my smile lines are not as visible as I had them before when I would use the Estee Lauder foundation by itself. So it definitely is a good look. Anyways, back to concealer. I don't like to use a lot personally. I don't really have a lot of space in my face to be using a lot. But yeah, so just under the eyes and on the chin and the upper lip. And it's a little hard trying to get into the corners of the eye without messing up the eyeshadow or the eyeliner. Now, my camera did overheat midway, but I'm using the MAC Stick Foundation. And I'm going to be using that to contour. I've been loving to do it like that. It sets pretty nicely and in a good amount of time. So right now I'm just buffing it out. Of course, I do by my cheekbones, under my cheekbones, around my chin area to diffuse the double chin, and by my nose, of course. And I like doing it by my chin, on top of my chin. It just looks kind of cute. I feel like it adds a really good touch to it. So yeah, I'm buffing it out, but not way too much so that it's still visible, it's still there. And as you had seen before, I didn't use the concealer on my nose bridge because once I do my I'm totally blanking out. Yeah, I'm totally blanking out. Anyways, as you can see now, I'm using my concealer on my nose bridge because the contouring kind of covers it up if I do it before. So I do it after so that it does pop out. And there we go. Now we're going to baking underneath that contour with that Born This Way translucent powder, just to chisel out those bones that I do not have because I have big cheeks. I only leave it on for maybe like a minute or two, and then I go ahead and get all that powder off and blend it out. And now I'm going ahead and using the translucent powder to set my whole face. I've been loving doing it this way because I feel like when I did use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, it kind of changed the color of the skin. But now moving on to bronzer, I'm using the Striptease from Wet n Wild, and I'm warming up all around my face just to bronze me up a little bit, add some color to myself. And then also going over that contour to just really make it pop. And just blend, blend, blend away. I got a little hair, so gotta blow that one out. Now using, again, the Wet n Wild blush, I'm using this peachy color, which I've been loving. I feel like it looks great with my skin tone. I feel like peachy colors are the way to go now. Not so much the pinks. The peaches are more natural. But yes, I obviously do that on my cheeks. And I've been loving doing it at the tip of my nose. It just adds like a little cute accent to it, and a little bit on my chin. Now using the NYX Brow Gel. I'm going to be using this to feather out my brows. And I'm setting everything with the Wet n Wild finishing spray. I've been loving it. It's great and it's cheap. A little bit got in my eye, but it's okay. We didn't die. And I soaked it. Now you find whatever random thing you can. I obviously used this red box that I had from last night. Now to highlight, using the Makeup Revolution Gold Addict Highlighter. I love it. It's a beautiful gold tone. And I'm going to be using that with a brush. And yes, the color is real. Very real. It's beautiful. So I added that to my highlight points, my nose, my upper lip, my chin. And I'm using my finger to add it to my nose bridge. That's a little tricky area. And why not? Add it right by your tear ducts. Really make that pop. Now guys, I already put my ponytail up. I put my hair up because I was going to the flea market, so I was not trying to have my hair down. So I'm just kind of laying it down using the Chi hairspray, which is awesome. I laid down my baby hairs as well. It's so messy because I don't know if it's me or if it's the spray bottle or what it is that I spray it and it comes out in random places. So I sometimes get some on my face and it's a hot mess, but it works well. Except for the damn sprayer. Gotta slick the hair back. No hair left behind. By the way, do you guys like my shirt? It's pretty cute. Got it at Target, at Target. I'm doing the bobby pins to extra secure that hair. The last thing you want is everything flipping out. And for my lips, I did use the Anastasia, this kind of pinkish color. Again, I didn't catch it on camera, per usual. But just pointing it out there, finishing that pink look with some pink lips. And now, I'm putting in my hoop earrings to complete the look. And I do like to clean up my earrings because for some weird reason I get makeup all over my ears, so then it covers like my earrings and then it makes them just look dull. So right now I'm just using a micellar water wipe to clean them up. How the hell do I get makeup there? I don't know. I just do. But it is what it is. Now this is the finished look, guys. Hope you guys like it. Super easy, super cute, nice and dewy, simple, perfect for a Sunday. Thanks, guys.